Hey guys, this is Cree. Welcome back to the right side of 50. Hope everybody's okay. Just wanted to say hello to you and, um, just check on your mental health and talk a little bit today on something that was on my mind. Nothing major per se, but just kind of going into you guys out there who are single, the dating pool. What does it look like for you, especially over 40? Um, Reason why I really brought it up, to be honest, is because sometimes for kicks and giggles, I'll look at Kendra G. So for anybody who is not familiar, it's a dating show. It's to try to get people hooked up with each other, or for people who are finding love, I guess. Um, it's for all ages, so long as you're 21 and up. Doesn't matter. I've seen as young as 21 and I've seen as old as like 70 something years old. So I've seen everybody, all walks of life on there. Okay. So reason why I brought it up is there was a lady that was on there yesterday, right? She was 57 and she seemed well put together. She had well, let me just let you know, for anybody who's never seen the show. When Kendra G comes on, she's a former radio personality and host. You can Google her, but she has this dating app now. But she's been doing this, I think, since the pandemic for the last 5 years. So she's like, what she does is she tries to get people to meet. So if you've downloaded her app, if you haven't, she'll tell you. But when she comes on the line, what she's asking are basic questions: your name, your age, what you do for a living, how many kids you have, have you been married, how many fathers or mothers do you have for all the children that you have. So she's just giving the basic information. All right. So this lady was on. She was celebrating her birthday, her 57th birthday. She was with, I guess, girlfriends, and they were, just hanging out, having fun. So anyway, she seemed well put together. She was just, laid back, enjoying herself. She had been married twice, I believe. I think she had a couple of kids. They do ask if it's, again, by the same person, which in her case, yes. So the second husband she had, I guess, they didn't divorce. He passed away. So she's a widow. So the stigma out here in the world in which we live is women over 40 have no hope. Okay? Do we have any hope? Do we? All right, let's get into it again. So I talk to a lot of people, family, friends, things like this. This is common. And then social media, let's be honest, social media bashes this a lot. And in this world, to me, in my opinion, they set men and women up to go against each other. Okay. Just like with racial tension, the races are always against each other. And that's what social media wants to do. So, your opinion is yours, but that's my opinion. Social media is meant to cause a lot of diversion, a lot of uprise. A lot of people fall into that mess. They do. Social media, to me, it can be informative. It could be a lot of learning, and then it could also be for entertainment. So when they put an idea in front of your face, it's just in most cases it's just an opinion. You give your feedback. With this show, I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've seen a lot of embarrassing things, heard a lot of embarrassing things, but I have to also remember it's not me on there doing it. I'm not the one there. I'm not the interviewee. So if they want to embarrass and make a mockery out of themselves, that's fine. This lady did not. She clearly stated what she was looking for and kind of man she's looking for. Somewhere in that interview, she did say she attempted to date somebody a month ago, but it didn't work. Now, basically what she was saying is he had erectile dysfunction, ED. She tried to avoid saying that, but Kendra, was probing a little bit more because she just wanted it to be clear what this lady was talking about on why it didn't work. So she wasn't trying to put the man out on blast. Really, she wasn't. But men, their egos are just as weak. Okay, so men, as they get older, they tend to have issues, just like women, with the ED, maybe erectile dysfunction, or just the fact that they don't have those nice washboard abs that maybe they used to have back in the day. I don't know. I mean, every man's different. We get the gray hair. Everybody doesn't get gray, but majority we do when we hit that point. Okay, so there's dye out there if you want to dye your hair. Some people really embrace their gray hair, and they go with it. It's nothing to them. Everybody's different. So on this show, I thought the lady presented herself pretty well, and I don't think she was asking for anything unusual. But when you go down to the comments, and this is the majority, mainly coming from men, okay? So there will be men on here, I'm sure they're not going to agree with my point, but my thing is, when a woman gets to that point, are you really in your head thinking that she should sit down and not date anybody anymore? Is it just hopeless for her? Is it useless? Is she just useless now? She's just kind of like a worn piece of cloth that can't be used anymore. I mean, this is my thought process. They talk about a woman's sexual market. Okay, so with that, a sexual market, from the standards out there, that's just based on, at the end of the day, for the most part, it's whether or not you can have children. Now, we can go into the effects of menopause and things like that. We can put that in there too. But mainly, the whole point of saying sexual market is because can she still have children? Okay. Men who have that on their mind are men who are trying to have children. But you still have a lot of men out here, middle-aged men. Every middle-aged man is not interested in a much younger woman. If they are interested, I don't really have an opinion on it. If there's purpose for it, and you could say a lot of things about that. What's his purpose? What's his reasoning for it? I'm not here to critique, okay? Because they say you have a small pool of younger men who will gravitate to an older woman. A lot of cases that could be just because she's usually established at that point. He wants somebody who's more established, or maybe he just doesn't have an interest in dating his age or younger, because of the mentality behind it. And then, if you are going negative, you can just say, well, depending on the man, maybe he wants to be taken care of. Who knows? Now, they say women want to be taken care of too. Well, it's been like that since the beginning of time. There's no secrets behind that. A woman in her 20s, somebody was trying to call me, sorry. A woman in her 20s, in a perfect world, she goes through schooling, she's in her 20s, now she'd like to meet that right man, that right person for her, so she can date him, eventually get together with him. They plan a marriage, plan a life, and have children. That's only in a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world, so it doesn't happen that way. Now, today, a lot of these women, they're taking the wrong approach on how they're doing things, with all the multiple children, multiple men, multiple this. There's still case by case basis because sometimes there's reasonings behind multiple fathers. And I can just say, I can use me as an example. I only have one child, but I promise you, if I had went for that second child, it wouldn't have been with his father. Okay, we didn't work out. And I wouldn't have been ashamed of that. I refuse to force myself to be with someone just because I had the child. I was in love, or thought I was, and I can still remember the marriage was being planned by our families. The church was already picked out, who was going to do what. All of this was already in the works. But as time went on, I start seeing things, and I start experiencing things that I didn't think was healthy. I believe this is maintenance man. Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. That was the maintenance guy. I had to get something done in here. So anyway, I can't remember where I left off. I know I was talking about the dating pool and things like that. So I guess my point I was just making is women, they, as we get older, the market changes for us. So the whole point of me bringing this up is people are out here. What are your experiences with dating? Over 40, over 50? What do you guys see yourselves having challenges with? Like I said, men date certain types of women depending on what their needs are, and same with women. So if I was, the example I was going to, I believe, use before I was interrupted was, so if I was out in the market right now, if I was called myself dating, I know, sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself. I know for me, what's always been important to me was not so much, I mean, you know, you want finances to matter, because realistically they do. But I've always wanted somebody, you know, that makes me smile, makes me laugh, because I'm a silly person. I love to laugh. I can make light out of anything. Even a depressing situation, I can always find something to smile on it about, just so that it's not so depressing. I like people who have that crazy humor and things don't go over their head. It could be the dumbest thing, but they just, you know, you can still make a lot of light of it. Okay, so that's kind of something I've always looked for in a person. Someone you enjoy being with, someone that you can depend on, of course. You want to grow up. I think most people want to grow old with somebody. You want somebody that is just there for you. You know, and you are supposed to, as a woman, you reciprocate. You know, you love him unconditionally. He's going to have flaws. You're going to have flaws. You know, the love shouldn't stop because of a flaw. You guys are there to complement each other. So your weak points are going to be his strong points, and vice versa. That's how it's normally meant to be. The finances, that's something that has to be worked out. Everybody has issues on whether 50-50 is appropriate or not. 50-50, what is that? I don't know what that means. If we're talking about 50-50 and who pays what, that's a roommate situation, is it not? It shouldn't be made that way, because you don't know what he makes versus what you make. I mean, you might make, you know, $100,000 a year, and he may only make 40. So, I mean, is he supposed to give his whole 40,000 to everything, and then you pay? I don't know. I mean, everybody is different, and I just think that it's meant to be shared. You guys, once you two people live together and you decide to take it to that next level, everything should be shared. It should not be trying to figure out who's going to pay what. I mean, you guys have already, I don't know, it's just always been so less complicated. You know, it's people who are complicating things. And then you got people who not only are they complicating it, they just downright don't want to cooperate. They don't want to take on the responsibilities that they are supposed to take on as either head of the household or as part of the household. And that's where toxicity comes in at, because somebody is not playing the game fairly. Somebody is not invested in the relationship, emotionally invested, mentally invested. You can be in a partnership or relationship and not really be in. So some of you ladies, men too, some of you guys out there are in those relationships. Some of you guys have someone, you have what's supposed to be a partner, and then you've seen over time they're not much of a partner anymore. They've already checked out of the relationship, or maybe you're the one that checked out the relationship, or both of you have. And maybe you're just cohabitating because it's easier, I guess. Maybe because it's expensive everywhere you go. Okay, so there are people who are living together and they're not even really together anymore. They're just living together because that is the feasible thing to do. That's the financial, that's what they're able to afford. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I'm just talking about, if you were looking for somebody, what would you be looking for? So I'm 51. If I was going out on that market right now, I promise you, like I said with the show, most of the comments were directed as if they were implying that really she shouldn't have any expectations. She shouldn't want anything because she's 57. Stop it. I just got really irritated. Now the way I commented almost the way I'm talking now. With a smile on my face in a sense, but just let's be realistic. When women get to a certain age, that doesn't mean she's supposed to roll over somewhere, get in a corner and die, just because she's not with a man. That is not ideal these days. People don't just get married right out of high school or right out of college and just stay with that person forever and ever and ever. There are people out here who make these comments to think, well, you should have stayed with that baby daddy. You should have stayed with that one. You should have whatever, blah. Okay, if you're talking about somebody that's got 4, 5, 6, I don't know, who have a slew of parents with their children, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everyday stats. A woman who's got one child, two children, maybe different fathers, whatever. I'm talking about those type of people. And when you get to my age, you probably don't have little ones anyway, or maybe you do because depending on when you have them. But I'm talking about for the ones where your kids are already grown. If they're grown, how all that is relevant, I don't know. But that doesn't mean when you get to 50 or whatever that you're supposed to just say, okay, it's over with, I'm done. I don't know how people can say that with a straight face and think it's fair. So he over here is 50, 60. He doesn't want any kids, but it's still okay for him to date because he's a man. But I'm the same age and I'm not supposed to date because I'm a woman and my value is down. Really, I don't want to hear any of that. Value. Only I know my value. Only I know my worth and my value, and the person that I'm with. They would know my value and my worth. But you're not going to put a label on me because I'm 51 and say, well, her value is low because she can't have children anymore. No, I don't accept that. The standard is just what I said. Well, she's a great person, a great woman, but if you're looking for children, she's not the one for you. If you're looking for someone who can take on offspring and help you in procreating, yes, I wouldn't be for you. Somebody else would be for you, not me. And I'm okay with that. I would never get offended by that. Why get offended by the truth? But do not sit there and make a person or assume that they're just worth nothing, that they're garbage just because they've reached that age. I thank God every day that I'm here to see 51, and I want to see more years. And if it's meant for me to die with a partner, then, having a great person or what have you, then that's the way the chips will fall, right? But I'm not going to go into society standards that I'm 51 and I'm no good here and I'm just nothing. I mean, you can't, that's not the way it works. I've never seen that to be a problem, but it seems like more and more I see this kind of stuff on social media, and it's so toxic to me. You want a woman to feel of no value because she's not young enough anymore to have children, or because you got women who are 40, 45 years old and they can still have children. Whether or not they want to, I don't know. I mean, that's up to them, because there's risk with everything. But I don't know why people just feel like it's to say something like that. These women out here, you got the delusional ones, and then you got the ones that are realistic, and they know that they shouldn't be expecting this or that. But that doesn't mean that every decent man is dating a younger woman. Okay, it doesn't. That's not true. I know that just from talking to men out in the street. And I'm not out there with a pen and paper trying to take notes like a reporter, but I'm just saying, any jobs I've had, you hear people talking, you listen, whether you're part of the conversation or not. And that's not always true. That's not always the case. So anyway, you guys, that can really play and impact your mental journey. I hope any of you guys out there, if you're looking for somebody, I hope you find your partner. I hope you find your person. Do not let these standards, like this show and everything, do not let society tell you who you're supposed to be with, or if you're even supposed to be with anybody. Don't let them dictate. Only you know if you need to be with somebody. Only you know what you're looking for. Do not let society say, you can't have that. That's not for you. You can't have children. You're not capable of this. You're no good. You're no longer valid. Your validity isn't based on whether or not you can have children. But I tell you, if that man is looking for him, you shouldn't be with him, because it's just going to be a waste of time. Okay. So, with that being said, you guys just be kind to each other. But, most importantly, you have to start with yourself, and you have to know what you want. What do you want in life? Who is that person? Who are you looking for? And that's for you single people. Okay? Do not take 20, 30 years. Don't waste any more years than you have. Especially as a young person, you think about all the time that you could have done something different, maybe to learn yourself better, which means you would have made less mistakes. Well, you can't change the past. Only thing you can do is live for now and what you're going to do right now, and move forward. That's all you can do. So again, until next time, I know I was prattling on as usual. That's what I do. But it was just some food for thought and just something fun. But you know what? I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Take care.